Hello, and welcome to Sleepy Scientist. I'm glad you're here, whether you've had a long day, a busy mind, or you simply love falling asleep to the sound of science. Tonight we're diving into one of the world's most fascinating and mysterious regions, the Bermuda Triangle. It's a place of whispers and legends where ships and planes seem to vanish without a trace. Picture yourself floating in the warm teal waters of the Atlantic Ocean, the sun slowly setting its rays, flickering like fireflies across the waves. But in this serene setting, strange things have been known to happen, things that defy explanation. What's behind the Bermuda Triangle's mysterious reputation? Let's start uncovering the stories and science behind this place. Before we dive into the science, I'd love to hear where you're listening from. What time is it in your part of the world? Drop a comment, and I'll read them all with a smile. If you enjoy these sleepy explorations, I'd be so grateful if you gave the video a little like and tapped that subscribe button. It helps more sleepy scientists like you find their way here, and it means I can keep making more of these journeys for you now. So let's slip into the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, where every ripple in the water holds a secret, and every cloud overhead whispers a legend. Let's begin with the stories, the ones we've all heard, the ones that make this place so famous. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, has been a focal point of intrigue for centuries. Stretching across the waters between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this patch of ocean has earned a reputation for being cursed. Some say it's an area where the very laws of nature break down, and ships and aircraft vanish without a trace, never to be heard from again. In fact, one of the most famous disappearances is the case of Flight 19, a group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers that disappeared in 1945 while on a training mission. They simply vanished into thin air. And it wasn't just the planes, rescue planes sent after them also disappeared with no wreckage, found no sign of distress, just the empty vastness of the ocean. These stories fuel the belief that there's something unusual going on in the Bermuda Triangle. The idea of it being a place where normal rules of physics and logic don't apply is so compelling that it's turned the region into a source of mystery thrillers and movies. If you've ever heard of the Bermuda Triangle, you've probably been drawn into the allure of the unknown. The idea that this particular patch of ocean holds an unfathomable secret is captivating. But have you ever wondered, is there a scientific explanation behind it, or is it just a place that invites imagination? As we begin our journey into the Bermuda Triangle, let's take a moment to consider the stories that have shaped its eerie reputation. Over the years, countless ships, planes, and even people have gone missing in this region. But what's the real reason behind these disappearances? Are there natural phenomena at play, or is it simply a case of coincidence and human error? Some of the earliest reports of mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle come from the 19th century. Back in 1800, the brigantine Maria Celeste set sail from the Azores on its way to the United States. It was a routine voyage until the crew mysteriously disappeared and the ship was found floating without any sign of its passengers. Such incidents added fuel to the fire, giving rise to theories about the Bermuda Triangle being an area of paranormal activity where ships and planes succumb to the unexplained. But it wasn't until the 20th century that the Bermuda Triangle became truly notorious. The modern-day tales of the Triangle's mysteries began to surface after the story of Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a routine training mission. They disappeared without a trace, along with a search and rescue plane sent to find them. The fact that no wreckage was ever discovered, combined with the perplexing radio transmissions from the pilots who seemed confused and disoriented, sent shockwaves through the public. So what exactly happened to Flight 19? While many have suggested the Bermuda Triangle as the culprit, the real explanation could be more grounded. Perhaps it's simply that the pilots became lost. The vastness of the ocean, compounded by weather conditions and a lack of modern navigational tools, likely caused confusion and disorientation. But let's not be too hasty. The Bermuda Triangle has a way of pulling us back into its web, especially when stories of other disappearances surface. One such story is that of the Star Tiger and Star Ariel, two British South American Airways planes that disappeared in 1948 and 1949 respectively under very similar circumstances. Both aircraft were flying in and around the Bermuda Triangle when they mysteriously vanished. Was it pilot error, a mechanical failure, or something more elusive? It's difficult to say for sure, but it's easy to see why these disappearances, coupled with others, help to fuel the triangle's aura of mystery. But let's take a step back. Before we dive into possible scientific explanations, let's consider how these stories shape the perception of the Bermuda Triangle. With each tale, the legend grows, and as the legend grows, so does the mystery. Stories get embellished, details get exaggerated, and before long, what was once a series of disappearances becomes a supernatural phenomenon in its own right. Interestingly, the idea that the Bermuda Triangle is a hotbed for strange occurrences isn't as widespread as it might seem. While it certainly has captured the public's imagination, some researchers argue that the number of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle isn't significantly higher than any other heavily traveled area of the ocean. In fact, according to studies, the number of accidents and disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is not much more than the average rate for any other part of the world's oceans. So could it be that the Bermuda Triangle is just an ordinary place turned extraordinary by sensational stories? It's fascinating how the power of storytelling can transform a place. The Bermuda Triangle's reputation as a mysterious zone where logic and reason seem to falter has made it an icon of the unknown. It's a part of the world that keeps you on edge, wondering whether there's a secret beneath the waves hiding from view. As we venture further into our exploration, we'll see how this myth has evolved and perhaps get a little closer to uncovering the truth behind the mystery. But before we go any further into the science, let's pause for a moment. What do you think? Could the Bermuda Triangle really be a place of supernatural forces, or is it simply a zone of unfortunate coincidences? I'd love for you to think about it as we continue to dive deeper into the truth behind the tales. It's the beginning of an exciting journey, a journey that will blend legend with science, mystery with logic. As we continue, let's turn our attention to the forces of nature that exist within the Bermuda Triangle, forces that might help explain some of the mysteries surrounding this region. Have you ever wondered what's lurking beneath those crystal-clear waves? The ocean, vast and unfathomable, holds more secrets than we can imagine. The Bermuda Triangle, with its swirling waters and shifting currents, is no exception. Could the ocean itself be responsible for the disappearances, or is there more to it, like unpredictable weather patterns or strange underwater geography? Imagine the ocean as an ancient beast, constantly shifting and groaning as it changes form. Beneath the surface, powerful currents move in unpredictable patterns, like invisible fingers that tug at the fabric of the sea. These currents are an important factor to consider when exploring the Bermuda Triangle, as they can make navigation especially tricky even for the most experienced sailors and pilots. One of the most significant currents in the region is the Gulf Stream, a powerful river of warm water that flows from the Gulf of Mexico along the U.S. East Coast and into the Atlantic Ocean. The Gulf Stream has a reputation for being one of the fastest and most forceful ocean currents in the world. At speeds of up to 5 miles per hour, it can carry ships and planes off course with little warning. If you've ever tried to swim against a current, you know how strong and disorienting they can be. Imagine being on a boat or in a plane and suddenly being swept along by such a current. It would be easy to lose track of where you are, and when you're in an area as vast as the Bermuda Triangle, that disorientation can be dangerous. But what happens when you get caught in one of these currents? Well, it's not just about being swept off course. The Gulf Stream, for example, moves warm water from the tropics toward the poles, but it also brings with it all sorts of unpredictable changes in weather patterns. The waters that flow through the Bermuda Triangle are often turbulent, and when the warm waters of the Gulf Stream collide with the colder waters of the Atlantic, the result is a mix of violent storms and sudden shifts in visibility. This can create a deadly cocktail of confusion for anyone trying to navigate through the region. Imagine the chaos of flying through this unstable environment. One minute you're gliding smoothly through the sky, the sun setting on the horizon, and the next minute a dense fog rolls in and you lose all sense of direction. It's easy to see how someone might make a miscalculation or mistake when weather conditions shift so rapidly. Even though we're still in the realm of natural explanations, we're not done yet. There's another fascinating element to consider: the geography of the Bermuda Triangle itself. Beneath the surface of the ocean, there's something remarkable that could explain some of the strange occurrences: underwater mountains and deep-sea trenches. These geographical features can have a dramatic effect on the water currents, making them even more unpredictable. Sometimes ships and planes could be forced to take risky detours or even get caught in underwater whirlpools that would make navigation all the more perilous. And the fact that these underwater ridges are often obscured by the surface waves means that they're hard to spot, adding an extra layer of danger to the Bermuda Triangle. It's also possible that these geographical features contribute to strange, unexplainable phenomena, such as unusual waves. Giant rogue waves, which can reach heights of over 30 feet, have been reported in the Bermuda Triangle region. These waves form suddenly and without warning, and they are known to capsize ships or cause severe damage. The sheer unpredictability of rogue waves is a perfect match for the eerie tales surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. Could a rogue wave be responsible for one of the disappearances? Could a ship be swallowed up by the ocean before anyone even had time to react? It's certainly a terrifying thought, but as we learn more about these giant waves, we begin to understand just how dangerous they can be, even in the most controlled environments. Now let's think about another aspect of nature that might be contributing to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle: the weather. The region is notorious for having sudden and severe storms that can appear out of nowhere. These storms can be violent enough to confuse navigational systems and obscure visibility. Imagine being in the air and suddenly having your instruments malfunction because of a sudden electrical storm. Without the ability to see, or with unreliable instruments, it becomes much easier to get lost. In fact, many pilots who've flown through the Bermuda Triangle report feeling a sense of disorientation as they encounter unpredictable weather patterns. The idea that a sudden, unexpected storm could be the cause of an accident in the triangle doesn't seem so far-fetched. But what's more perplexing is the sheer frequency of these strange weather events. The Bermuda Triangle, being a hot spot for tropical storms, is no stranger to hurricanes and electrical disturbances. There are even reports of mysterious lightning strikes in the area, sometimes referred to as ball lightning. These strange phenomena, where glowing balls of electricity appear in the sky, are still not entirely understood by scientists, but they could very well add to the region's reputation for strange happenings. Now let's pause for a moment. While we've explored the natural forces of the Bermuda Triangle, we have to ask ourselves, could it be that these factors are simply amplified in this region, making it more prone to accidents and disappearances than other areas? Or are we just dealing with an area that has become a nexus for freak occurrences, compounded by the natural forces at play? I think it's time to let these questions simmer as we venture deeper into the science of the Bermuda Triangle. As we explore further, we'll look at how human-era technology malfunctions and even the psychological effects of these strange forces might explain some of the unsolved mysteries. Could there be a simpler, more grounded reason for what's going on here? Keep that thought in the back of your mind. We're only just beginning to scratch the surface. Now that we've touched on the natural forces shaping the Bermuda Triangle, it's time to dive into another crucial element: human error. Imagine yourself at the helm of a ship or behind the controls of a plane, navigating through the warm breeze or open skies. You feel confident in control, yet the vastness around you keeps reminding you of how small and vulnerable you are in the face of nature's power. It's easy to understand how something could go wrong, how something could throw you off course when the environment around you constantly shifts. Many of the mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are likely the result of human misjudgments or technical failures. After all, we are only human, and even the best of us can make mistakes. So let's consider this. When we encounter a storm or find ourselves disoriented in thick fog, our instincts might push us to make decisions based on what we feel is right, not what we've been trained to do. In the case of pilots and sailors, even the smallest misstep can have deadly consequences. In the 1945 disappearance of Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy bombers, the pilots became disoriented while flying over the Bermuda Triangle. They reported mechanical issues, and the compasses seemed to be malfunctioning. In a moment of confusion, the flight leader gave the order to change course, and they eventually became lost in the fog. After hours of searching for land, they ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Some people believe that their instruments were compromised by the magnetic anomalies in the area, which we'll discuss later. But there's a much simpler explanation. The pilots may have panicked, miscalculated, and succumbed to the very real psychological pressures that come with being lost at sea or in the air. Now think about it for a moment. What would happen if you were suddenly cut off from your sense of direction? The sky, the ocean, everything begins to look the same. You might start to second-guess yourself, make a wrong turn, or lose track of your bearings entirely. The Bermuda Triangle is famous for its disorienting effects, and if you consider the psychological pressure experienced by these pilots and sailors, it becomes clear how easily they could make decisions that led to disaster. In fact, it's been suggested that the feeling of being lost in the Bermuda Triangle could have a unique psychological effect on people. The isolation and eerie beauty of the region might cause anxiety or panic, which could cloud judgment and create a heightened sense of danger. The more disoriented you feel, the more likely you are to make a mistake, to misread a map, or misinterpret a signal. It's easy to see how a chain of small errors could snowball, leading to a tragedy. Interestingly, there's a psychological phenomenon known as cognitive dissonance that could also be at play. When you're faced with conflicting information, like a malfunctioning compass and rapidly changing weather, it can create a feeling of confusion and tension in your mind. You know something is wrong, but you can't quite figure out what it is. This kind of mental strain can cause you to make impulsive decisions sometimes without fully understanding why. In the case of Flight 19, it's possible that the pilots were overwhelmed by cognitive dissonance and made critical errors in their decision-making process. But human error isn't limited to just misjudging distances or getting lost. In the case of the Bermuda Triangle, technological failure plays a key role as well. As planes and ships have become more advanced over the years, many of the disappearances have been linked to malfunctions in navigation systems, communication failures, or even faulty instruments. Technology, while helpful, is not infallible, and when the most advanced equipment fails, the consequences can be disastrous. Consider the case of the USS Cyclops, a massive U.S. Navy ship that mysteriously vanished in 1918 while sailing through the Bermuda Triangle. The ship had 309 crew members on board, and no wreckage was ever found. Some theories suggest that the ship's compass was malfunctioning, causing it to veer off course and sail into dangerous waters. While this is still speculative, it raises the question, how much trust do we place in our technology, and how much does that trust contribute to the disasters in the Bermuda Triangle? In an age where GPS is commonplace and modern navigation tools guide our way, it's easy to forget how heavily sailors and pilots depend on their instruments. When these tools fail, confusion reigns, and a sense of helplessness can settle in. In the Bermuda Triangle, where the skies are unpredictable and the waters unforgiving, any technological malfunction can turn a routine journey into a terrifying experience. Moreover, the psychological stress brought on by the fear of technological failure can exacerbate the situation. A navigator who suddenly finds their instruments malfunctioning may feel helpless, which leads to a loss of confidence and potentially to more errors in judgment. Could this combination of psychological stress and technological malfunction explain why so many incidents have occurred in the Bermuda Triangle? While we've only scratched the surface of this topic, it's clear that human error, whether through confusion, panic, or technological failure, plays a significant role in the Bermuda Triangle's mystique. The environment of the triangle, with its unpredictable weather, turbulent waters, and complex geography, creates a perfect storm for mistakes. But what if, as we dive deeper into this mystery, we find that there's something more than human error at play? Something that even our best technology can't explain. Take a moment to consider this. In all the stories of missing planes, ships, and people, how much can we really attribute to just simple human mistakes? And when the natural environment seems to have a hand in it, are we witnessing a true enigma, or is it just a series of unfortunate circumstances? Let's continue to explore this together and see what we uncover next. As we continue to unravel the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, we find ourselves confronting another fascinating possibility: the role of magnetic anomalies. It's easy to overlook how much Earth's magnetic field governs our lives. Imagine yourself standing on a beach watching the waves gently roll in. The ground beneath your feet feels solid, stable, as if nothing could shake it. But deep beneath the surface, the Earth's magnetic field is pulsing and shifting in ways we can't always see or feel. This invisible force is one of the most powerful influences on life here on Earth, guiding our compasses, our planes, and even our ships as they traverse the world. When you think of magnetic anomalies, you might imagine compasses spinning wildly or navigational equipment going haywire. And that's exactly what has been reported in the Bermuda Triangle. The magnetic field in this region appears to behave erratically, throwing off the instruments that rely on Earth's magnetism to guide them. For centuries, sailors and aviators have reported strange malfunctions, with their compasses veering off course and their navigation systems giving them inconsistent readings. Some believe these magnetic anomalies are a central factor in the strange disappearances that occur within the triangle. But what exactly are these magnetic anomalies, and how could they cause so much chaos? To understand, we need to take a step back and think about how the Earth's magnetic field works. Imagine that the Earth is like a giant magnet with a north and south pole, its magnetic field extending out into space. This field acts like a protective shield, deflecting harmful solar radiation and keeping our planet safe. It's also what makes compasses work, pointing towards the magnetic North Pole, helping sailors and pilots navigate their way. However, Earth's magnetic field isn't perfectly uniform. It's shaped by the movement of molten metals in the planet's core, which causes fluctuations in the field. In some places, these fluctuations are more dramatic, creating areas of magnetic distortion. The Bermuda Triangle is thought to lie in one of these regions of heightened magnetic interference. As a result, compasses and other instruments in the area may malfunction, causing navigators to misinterpret their location or direction. But here's the catch. It's not just the malfunctioning instruments that make magnetic anomalies so intriguing. It's their potential to cause complete disorientation. If you've ever tried to use a compass and seen the needle spin uncontrollably, you can imagine the confusion that would ensue if this happened in the middle of the ocean or the skies. Your sense of direction would be completely thrown off, and without reliable tools to guide you, you might panic and make decisions that lead to disaster. This is exactly what many pilots and sailors have reported during their journeys through the Bermuda Triangle. They've experienced sudden shifts in their navigation systems, their compasses spinning or showing the wrong directions, leaving them unable to tell which way to go. What's more, the disorientation caused by these magnetic anomalies could be exacerbated by the triangle's unpredictable weather, as storms and fog can further obscure the way forward. Now take a moment to imagine yourself in this situation. You're flying or sailing through unfamiliar waters, and suddenly your instruments go haywire. The compass spins, the GPS shows conflicting data, and the skies above you turn dark and ominous. What would you do in this moment of panic? Would you follow your gut instinct, or would you try to rely on faulty equipment? It's easy to see how this kind of confusion could cause a ship or plane to veer off course and eventually vanish. Interestingly, scientists have studied the phenomenon of magnetic anomalies and their impact on navigation. One study suggests that certain areas of the Bermuda Triangle may have an unusually high concentration of these anomalies, which could make it harder for navigational instruments to function properly. For example, a ship or plane flying over the region could experience interference with its compass, leading it to change course without the pilot or captain realizing it. This could put them into dangerous territory, far from their intended route. In addition to magnetic anomalies, some researchers have speculated that the Bermuda Triangle might also be affected by an even more mysterious force, submarine magnetic fields. These are areas where underwater geological features, such as massive magnetic deposits, could create strong and unpredictable magnetic fields beneath the ocean's surface. These submarine anomalies could be another factor contributing to the navigational chaos in the triangle. Some believe that ships and submarines traveling over or through these fields could experience sudden malfunctions, which would explain some of the disappearances in the area. Of course, there's still much to learn about the true nature of the Bermuda Triangle's magnetic anomalies. While scientists have confirmed that the area is home to unusual magnetic fluctuations, the exact causes of these disturbances are still not fully understood. Some have even suggested that the anomalies could be linked to deeper, more mysterious forces, such as extraterrestrial activity or unknown underwater phenomena. But for now, what we can say with certainty is that the Bermuda Triangle is home to an environment that seems to mess with our navigation systems, leading to confusion and uncertainty. If you take a step back and think about it, it's almost as if the Bermuda Triangle has its own hidden rhythm, a pulse that throws off any attempts to follow a straight path. Navigators, whether they're sailors or pilots, try to make sense of this rhythm, but it's like trying to dance to music that's out of sync. The Bermuda Triangle has a way of playing tricks on even the most experienced navigators, leading them into a world of uncertainty and danger. The magnetic anomalies, though not entirely understood, seem to play a central role in this phenomenon. So next time you find yourself on a ship or in a plane heading off toward a far-off destination, remember how important it is to trust your instruments and stay grounded in the knowledge of how they work. And yet, you'll also want to keep in mind the mysterious forces at play in areas like the Bermuda Triangle, where even the best equipment can be rendered useless by the unpredictable forces of nature. Can you imagine what it would be like to be in the midst of such an enigma, to be surrounded by a magnetic field so strange that your compass no longer tells you the way forward? let's continue to explore and see what other strange forces might be at play in this mysterious part of the world. Now that we've taken a closer look at the magnetic anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle, let's shift our focus to the strange weather patterns that seem to plague this region. Imagine yourself sitting in the cockpit of a plane, or perhaps at the helm of a ship. You're gliding smoothly through the clear blue skies or the calm rolling waves of the ocean. Everything is going according to plan until, without warning, the weather takes a drastic turn. The skies darken, the wind picks up, and suddenly you're surrounded by thick fog or turbulent storms. What once seemed like a routine journey has now become a fight against nature itself. This is a phenomenon that many have experienced while traveling through the Bermuda Triangle. The weather in this region is often described as highly unpredictable and violent. One moment you could be basking in sunlight, and the next you could find yourself caught in a powerful storm with no warning. This sudden shift in weather is another key factor contributing to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, as many ships and planes have been lost under these extreme conditions. But what causes such sudden and violent storms in this particular area of the world? The answer lies in the unique geography and climate of the Bermuda Triangle. The region is located in a part of the world where warm and cold air's masses frequently collide, creating the perfect conditions for the formation of storms. In particular, the Gulf Stream, which is a powerful ocean current that flows from the Gulf of Mexico to the North Atlantic, plays a significant role in the unpredictable weather patterns of the Bermuda Triangle. The Gulf Stream is known for its strength and speed, and it can create rapidly shifting wind patterns that lead to sudden weather changes. When the warm, moist air from the Gulf Stream collides with the cooler, drier air from the surrounding areas, it can cause thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and even water spouts to form. These violent storms can appear out of nowhere, creating hazardous conditions for anyone traveling through the triangle. The rapid changes in weather can make it difficult for navigators to predict what will happen next, leaving them vulnerable to the forces of nature. But it's not just the weather itself that's troubling, it's the sheer speed with which these storms can appear. Imagine you're on a plane cruising along at a steady altitude, and then out of nowhere the clouds thicken and the wind picks up. The turbulence intensifies, and before you know it, you're in the midst of a fierce storm, trying to regain control of the aircraft. This is exactly what many pilots and sailors have reported when traveling through the Bermuda Triangle. The storms seem to materialize in a flash, leaving little time to react or adjust course. As if that weren't enough, the Bermuda Triangle also has a reputation for hosting some of the most extreme weather phenomena on Earth, such as waterspouts. Waterspouts are tornado-like columns of air and water that form over the ocean. They can be incredibly dangerous, capable of sinking ships or even dragging planes down from the sky. These waterspouts are particularly common in the Bermuda Triangle, and their sudden appearance can make even the most seasoned navigators feel helpless. The power of these natural events can make it feel as though the region itself has a volatile personality, one that is constantly shifting and unpredictable. So what is it about the Bermuda Triangle that seems to encourage such extreme weather? Well, it's the combination of its geographical location, ocean currents, and atmospheric conditions that create this volatile environment. The triangle sits in a part of the world where warm tropical air frequently collides with cooler, denser air masses from the north. This, combined with the powerful Gulf Stream current, creates an atmosphere that is ripe for sudden and dramatic weather events. These rapidly changing conditions have left many ships and planes unprepared for the challenges they face, contributing to the region's infamous reputation. But the weather in the Bermuda Triangle isn't just about sudden storms or waterspouts. It's also about the way these events seem to interfere with navigational instruments. We've already discussed the magnetic anomalies in the region, but it's worth noting that extreme weather can also play a role in disrupting the functioning of these instruments. For instance, strong thunderstorms can generate electrical disturbances that interfere with communication systems, making it difficult for pilots and sailors to receive updates or instructions. These disruptions, combined with the already erratic magnetic anomalies, create an environment where navigation becomes a guessing game. Now let's pause for a moment and think about what it would be like to experience one of these violent storms in the Bermuda Triangle. You're in the middle of the ocean or flying high above it, and suddenly the weather takes a drastic turn. The clouds gather, the winds howl, and you're faced with a storm that seems to have come out of nowhere. Your instruments are failing, and the visibility is poor. How would you react? How would you navigate through a storm that seems to be alive, a storm that refuses to be tamed? As we continue to explore the Bermuda Triangle, we realize that it's not just one mysterious force at play here. It's a complex web of factors, each one contributing to the sense of unease that surrounds the region. Magnetic anomalies, sudden storms, water spouts, and navigational failures all come together to create an environment where even the most advanced technology and the most experienced sailors or pilots can feel completely powerless. What we can say for certain is that the Bermuda Triangle is a place where nature doesn't play by the rules. It's a region where the weather, the magnetic field, and the sea itself seem to conspire against anyone trying to cross it. And as we move forward in our exploration, we'll continue to ask, what is it about this part of the world that makes it so unpredictable, so dangerous? Why do these strange weather patterns, along with other forces, come together in such a perfect storm of mystery? Let's now turn our attention to another often discussed element when it comes to the Bermuda Triangle, the disappearance of ships and planes. After all, it's these disappearances that have played such a significant role in the mystery surrounding the region. For centuries, the Bermuda Triangle has been the backdrop for stories of vanished vessels, missing planes, and entire crews that simply vanished without a trace. As unsettling as it may be, these disappearances are a major part of why the Bermuda Triangle has earned its infamous reputation. You're cruising along the clear blue waters of the Atlantic, or maybe you're in a plane high above the shimmering sea, unaware that in the very place you're traveling, countless ships have mysteriously disappeared throughout history. The most famous of these incidents is undoubtedly the disappearance of Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy bombers that vanished in December of 1945. The pilots of Flight 19 were conducting a routine training exercise over the Bermuda Triangle when something went terribly wrong. They became disoriented, lost their bearings, and never returned. Despite extensive search efforts, no wreckage was ever found. The incident became one of the Bermuda Triangle's most iconic mysteries, and the legend grew from there. But Flight 19 was far from the only case. Many other ships and planes, both military and civilian, have disappeared under similar circumstances. Take, for example, the famous case of the USS Cyclops, a massive American naval vessel that went missing in 1918 while traveling through the Bermuda Triangle. Despite being a well-equipped modern ship of its time, the Cyclops simply disappeared without a trace, leaving no wreckage, no survivors, and no real explanation. Its disappearance remains one of the largest maritime mysteries in history. So what's going on here? Why do ships and planes in the Bermuda Triangle seem to vanish so easily? Could it be simply a matter of bad luck, or is there something more sinister at play? The answer to this question is not as simple as it may seem. While some believe that the disappearances are the result of extraordinary forces, others argue that it's all a matter of geography, human error, and the unpredictable nature of the region. Let's start with geography, because the Bermuda Triangle sits in a location where natural conditions make travel difficult. One of the key factors is the Gulf Stream, which we've mentioned before. This ocean current is incredibly strong, and it can cause significant changes in water temperatures and currents. These rapid shifts can cause navigational instruments to malfunction, making it difficult for sailors and pilots to know their exact position. This is especially problematic when you consider how many ships and planes in the past were reliant on compass-based navigation, which could easily be thrown off by the erratic magnetic forces in the area. Another contributing factor could be the region's unique geography, with a large expanse of deep, uncharted waters. The Bermuda Triangle is home to underwater mountain ranges, deep trenches, and shifting sandbars, which create unpredictable currents and dangerous conditions. These hidden hazards, which are difficult to detect from the surface, can easily lead to disaster. A ship, for example, could unknowingly sail into dangerous waters and sink without a trace, or a plane could crash into the sea with no way for search teams to recover wreckage. The deep, often murky waters of the Bermuda Triangle make it almost impossible to locate missing vessels and aircraft. But even with all of these environmental challenges, the truth is that not all disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are easily explained. While some may be chalked up to navigational errors or weather-related issues, others remain inexplicable. For example, many pilots and sailors have reported mechanical failures, unexplained malfunctions, or even complete communication breakdowns just before disappearing. These anomalies seem to suggest that something more is going on, something that cannot be fully explained by geography or weather alone. This is where the mystery truly deepens. Could there be a force at work in the Bermuda Triangle that goes beyond the natural, something that we can't quite grasp? Some have speculated that these disappearances are the result of magnetic anomalies that distort not just compasses, but also other electronic systems. There are also theories involving underwater vortexes or portals, which could somehow transport ships and planes to other dimensions or time periods. These ideas sound fantastical, but it's the unexplained disappearances that keep fueling such theories. One theory that has captured the imagination of many is the idea of a vortex or wormhole in the Bermuda Triangle, similar to the concept of a black hole. Some suggest that this area could harbor a hidden, invisible force that swallows ships and planes, pulling them through space-time to another location or even another dimension. While these ideas sound far-fetched, it's important to remember that we don't fully understand the complexities of the Earth's magnetic field or the forces that govern space and time. Could the Bermuda Triangle be home to an anomaly that distorts reality in ways we don't yet understand? Another intriguing theory is the idea of underwater civilizations or alien involvement. While there is no definitive evidence to support these claims, some believe that ancient underwater cities or extraterrestrial beings may be responsible for the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. This theory hinges on the idea that these civilizations or beings have technology that is far beyond our understanding, capable of manipulating the elements or even bending the laws of physics. For now, the truth remains elusive, and the Bermuda Triangle continues to fascinate and intrigue us. Whether it's the strong magnetic anomalies, unpredictable weather patterns, or the possibility of something more sinister at work, the region remains one of the most mysterious places on Earth. The fact that so many disappearances have occurred with no clear explanation only adds to the enigma. As we've seen, there are many theories, but no one theory fully accounts for all of the strange occurrences in the Bermuda Triangle. Perhaps we'll never have all the answers, but that's part of what makes the mystery so compelling. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle serves as a reminder of just how little we still know about the natural world and the forces that shape our lives. As we continue to explore and understand the mysteries of our planet, the Bermuda Triangle will remain a place of intrigue, a place where the boundaries between fact and fiction blur. And who knows? Perhaps one day we'll discover what truly lies at the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, a place where the rules of nature seem to defy explanation. The Bermuda Triangle has earned its reputation not only for its mysterious disappearances, but also for the strange environmental phenomena that seem to occur within its boundaries. What many don't realize is that this region is actually home to a number of bizarre and puzzling natural occurrences. These phenomena, coupled with the triangle's reputation, only deepen the mystery. What if these strange environmental factors are somehow contributing to the region's unnerving track record? To start, let's focus on something that might sound a little less extraordinary at first, but is nonetheless important: the weather. The Bermuda Triangle is infamous for having some of the most unpredictable and rapidly changing weather conditions in the world. Whether it's sudden squalls, massive thunderstorms, or intense fog, the weather in this region can shift in a matter of minutes, leaving ships and planes at the mercy of nature. Now, while weather is an obvious factor to consider, there's more to it than just typical storms. One of the most notorious aspects of the Bermuda Triangle's weather is the frequency of air pockets or updrafts. Imagine you're in a plane cruising along peacefully above the ocean, when suddenly you feel the aircraft drop for what feels like an eternity. What's happening is the plane is flying into an area of rapidly descending air, a phenomenon that can cause sudden turbulence so severe that planes have actually crashed. These updrafts are linked to the unique weather patterns in the Bermuda Triangle, where warm, moist air from the Gulf Stream collides with cooler, dry air from the northern Atlantic. This creates violent storms and unpredictable turbulence that pilots have to navigate, often with limited visibility. Sometimes the weather here doesn't just cause turbulence, it creates impenetrable fog. We all know that fog can obscure your vision, but in the Bermuda Triangle, it seems to have a strange, unnerving quality. Pilots flying through the area have reported flying straight into what seems like a wall of thick, soupy fog, where they lose all visual contact with the ground and surrounding skies. This fog is often so dense that radar systems fail to pick up any surrounding objects. It's in these moments, with reduced visibility and unreliable instruments, that accidents happen. And once a plane or ship enters the Bermuda Triangle's fog, it seems like it's often never seen again. But that's not all. The Bermuda Triangle is also famous for a series of powerful and erratic ocean currents. These currents can be so forceful that they change the trajectory of ships, sending them off course and into perilous waters. One such current is the Gulf Stream, which flows northward along the U.S. coast and into the North Atlantic. This current is notorious for its strength and unpredictability, and when combined with the ever-changing weather, it creates an environment ripe for confusion and accidents. For a ship or plane, even a slight miscalculation in positioning or timing can turn into a disastrous misadventure. Add to that the vast stretches of deep, uncharted water in the Bermuda Triangle, and it's easy to see how a vessel or aircraft might vanish without a trace. Yet there are other odd occurrences in the Bermuda Triangle that cannot be attributed solely to geography or weather. One of the more intriguing features of this region is its unique magnetic anomalies. The Earth's magnetic field is normally steady and reliable, helping navigational instruments like compasses point to the magnetic north. However, within the Bermuda Triangle, magnetic anomalies have been reported by both sailors and pilots, throwing their instruments into disarray. Ships and planes have reported sudden compass failures or erratic readings, which have led to disastrous consequences. These anomalies, sometimes described as magnetic fields or pockets, could theoretically interfere with the navigation systems of aircraft and ships, causing them to veer off course without warning. But how exactly do these anomalies form? And why are they concentrated in the Bermuda Triangle? No one has been able to definitively answer that question yet. In addition to these strange phenomena, there are reports of another mysterious and seemingly inexplicable occurrence: sudden bursts of methane gas from the ocean floor. The Bermuda Triangle is located above a number of underwater gas deposits, and in rare instances, these deposits can rupture, releasing large quantities of methane gas into the surrounding waters. What makes this dangerous methane is not only highly flammable, but it can also cause a significant drop in water density. In other words, the sudden release of methane could cause ships to sink due to the change in buoyancy. The gas could also affect aircraft, making the air less dense and possibly leading to engine failure or loss of control. While this theory has been around for a while, no one has definitively proven that methane gas has played a role in any Bermuda Triangle disappearances. However, it remains an intriguing possibility. And speaking of the mysteries beneath the surface, the ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle is home to a complex series of underwater mountains, trenches, and valleys. These submerged landforms create an environment where deep-sea currents are constantly shifting and changing, creating unpredictable conditions that could easily catch unsuspecting vessels or aircraft off guard. Imagine the ocean as a vast, unseen labyrinth where the rules of navigation are constantly shifting. The Bermuda Triangle, with its deep and often treacherous waters, is like a giant submerged maze that traps ships and planes that dare to wander too far off course. But could these magnetic anomalies and strange weather patterns be linked? Could there be something more profound that's tying all of these unusual events together? Something beyond our understanding of natural science? Some theorists suggest that the Bermuda Triangle could be home to forces that are not just natural, but perhaps more exotic, like those produced by unknown geological activity deep within the Earth. After all, the Earth is constantly changing, and what we know about the planet's inner workings is still limited. Could there be unknown forces in the depths of the Bermuda Triangle that are distorting time-space or even reality itself? It's these unanswered questions that keep the Bermuda Triangle firmly in the realm of mystery. While science may have explanations for some of the odd phenomena, like the Gulf Stream magnetic anomalies and sudden weather changes, there's still so much we don't understand. It's this uncertainty, this lack of clarity that keeps us coming back to the Bermuda Triangle, trying to piece together the puzzle of what really happens inside this enigmatic, often dangerous region. The combination of strange natural phenomena and mysterious disappearances only adds to its legend. Perhaps the true answer lies in the intersection of these many forces. Maybe it's the way that the Bermuda Triangle's unpredictable weather, powerful currents, and unusual magnetic anomalies come together to create a perfect storm. Of sorts, a recipe for disaster that no one can fully predict. Or maybe there's something else entirely at play, something that continues to elude us. Now that we've explored the environmental and natural factors contributing to the Bermuda Triangle's mystery, it's time to shift gears and consider the human element. What role does human error, or perhaps the lack of it, play in the strange disappearances that continue to capture our collective imagination? The stories of ships vanishing without a trace, or planes mysteriously losing contact, have often been accompanied by eyewitness reports and black box findings. But in many cases, these crucial pieces of information are missing entirely. Could the human mind, with its own quirks and biases, be contributing to the mystery, or is there something deeper that we have yet to fully comprehend? Let's start by considering the many disappearances that have occurred over the decades, some of which are so well known that they've practically become part of Bermuda Triangle lore. Perhaps one of the most famous incidents is the disappearance of Flight 19 in December 1945. A group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers on a routine training mission lost contact with their base while flying over the Bermuda Triangle. What makes this disappearance particularly eerie is that the pilots reported strange compass malfunctions and difficulty navigating before they lost contact. In fact, some of the pilots reportedly became disoriented with one of them, even saying, "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right." After the last transmission, Flight 19 was never heard from again. A subsequent search mission to find the missing planes ended in disaster when the rescue plane sent to find them also disappeared. Was this simply an unfortunate sequence of events, or was there something more to it? The case of Flight 19 has remained one of the Bermuda Triangle's most compelling mysteries, and it raises an interesting question. Can natural phenomena like magnetic anomalies and erratic weather truly confuse seasoned pilots to the point of making them lose their way? Perhaps, but there's another possibility. Could the stress and pressure of navigating in an unfamiliar, unpredictable region cause a psychological breakdown, leading to decisions that defy logic? Imagine you're a pilot hundreds of miles from land with instruments malfunctioning and your bearings unclear. The feeling of isolation would likely be overwhelming, and the uncertainty of your position might cause panic to set in. That panic could easily lead to errors that might otherwise seem unimaginable. But human error isn't always to blame. Consider the strange disappearance of the USS Cyclops in 1918, a massive Navy cargo ship that vanished with over 300 men aboard. The Cyclops was traveling through the Bermuda Triangle when it suddenly lost contact with its headquarters. No wreckage, no debris, nothing ever turned up, and the ship's disappearance remains unsolved to this day. While the exact cause of the Cyclops' disappearance is still unknown, this event stands out because it's one of the few cases in which no distress signals were sent, no reports of malfunctions were made, and no visible signs of trouble were recorded before the ship vanished. What happened? Was it simply bad luck, or did some force beyond human comprehension play a role? Interestingly, there have been instances in which ships or planes have gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle and yet have returned years later, sometimes without explanation or apparent damage. One such case occurred in 1955 when a C-54 Skymaster aircraft mysteriously vanished while flying over the Bermuda Triangle. 4 years later, the plane was found seemingly untouched, but the crew members who had been aboard were never found. The plane had been discovered without any explanation for where it had been or why it had returned. While it might be tempting to chalk up this strange phenomenon to a combination of human error and unexplained circumstances, it's a reminder that the Bermuda Triangle has a way of confounding even the most rational minds. Another curious aspect of human involvement in these mysterious disappearances is the idea of time slips or time distortion. Some people have claimed to experience moments when time seemed to stretch, shrink, or otherwise warp within the Bermuda Triangle. According to some reports, individuals aboard missing ships or planes have mentioned bizarre sensations, like the feeling that time was moving in reverse or that their watches were malfunctioning. Could these claims be a result of stress confusion or the malfunction of instruments? Perhaps, but they also suggest that there might be a hidden layer to the Bermuda Triangle that involves time itself, a layer that we are only beginning to understand. It's also worth considering how deeply the human imagination has played a part in shaping the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. Stories of strange disappearances and supernatural occurrences have fueled our fascination with the region, making it a focal point for theories ranging from the scientifically plausible to the completely fantastical. Could some of the stories surrounding the Bermuda Triangle be the result of mass hysteria or even collective imagination? It's well documented that groups of people can sometimes convince themselves of strange occurrences, especially when the environment is already filled with mystery and fear. Could it be that the Bermuda Triangle's reputation has become a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the more we talk about its strange happenings, the more we invite them to occur? After all, the human brain is prone to pattern recognition, and once we start looking for coincidences, we often start finding them. As we consider the human side of the Bermuda Triangle mystery, it's clear that the region taps into our deepest fears and uncertainties. The unknown, after all, is one of the most powerful drivers of the human imagination. And when something so inexplicable happens, it's only natural for us to create stories to explain it. Stories that sometimes border on the fantastical, but that also carry a grain of truth. Whether it's the role of human error, psychological breakdowns, or even the influence of collective imagination, we can't deny that human involvement is key to understanding the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. But does this mean that the Bermuda Triangle's disappearances are entirely human-made? Are we simply interpreting the evidence in a way that fits our own fears and biases? Or is there still something more to this region, something beyond our understanding of science, geography, and psychology? As we move forward in our exploration of the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries, it's time to zoom out a bit and examine the broader context of this region. Is it truly as unique as the legend suggests? Or might the Bermuda Triangle simply be a spot where a variety of natural phenomena, some familiar, others still uncharted, converge in such a way that they create an illusion of mystery? One of the first things to note is that the Bermuda Triangle isn't the only place on Earth where strange occurrences seem to happen. There are other areas, often with much less fanfare, that exhibit similar patterns of unexplained disappearances. For instance, the Devil's Sea, off the coast of Japan, is often cited as another location where vessels and planes have gone missing under mysterious circumstances. The Baltic Sea anomaly, which is still the subject of intense speculation and investigation, raises more questions about our understanding of how the Earth's oceans and atmospheres behave. And let's not forget about the infamous vile vortex locations across the globe, spots where there's a concentration of unusual electromagnetic disturbances and unexplained events. These places are not as widely known as the Bermuda Triangle, but they share many of the same baffling qualities. If the Bermuda Triangle were the only location where such incidents occurred, it might be easier to conclude that something truly extraordinary was at work. But the fact that similar occurrences seem to happen elsewhere suggests that the Earth's atmosphere and magnetic fields are far more complex than we've yet realized. It's possible that the Bermuda Triangle's geographical location, while interesting, is not the actual cause of its mysterious reputation. Instead, it could just be that this particular patch of ocean happens to be in the right place at the right time for all of these natural factors to combine. It's worth noting that the Bermuda Triangle is located near the convergence of several key ocean currents. The Gulf Stream, one of the fastest-moving ocean currents, passes through this region, carrying warm water from the Gulf of Mexico toward the North Atlantic. This powerful current can have significant effects on the local weather, creating erratic windstorms and waves. A sudden shift in the weather, perhaps a rogue wave or a storm, could easily account for a ship or plane losing contact and disappearing without a trace. And it's not just weather patterns that come into play here. The Bermuda Triangle also lies near a region of the Earth's crust where the magnetic field is known to be particularly unstable. This area of the world is home to the Earth's magnetic anomalies regions, where the magnetic field behaves erratically, possibly causing navigation instruments to malfunction. When coupled with sudden shifts in weather patterns, this might explain why a few boats or planes have disappeared seemingly without explanation. What makes these natural phenomena particularly potent in the Bermuda Triangle, though, is that they often come together in unpredictable ways. A plane or ship may be caught in the middle of a sudden powerful storm, with no way of knowing that their instruments are malfunctioning due to nearby magnetic anomalies. Add in human error, panic, and the vast uncharted expanse of the ocean, and it's easy to see how something could go horribly wrong. Yet even with this scientific explanation, the Bermuda Triangle continues to intrigue us because it's the place where human emotion and imagination intersect with the raw, often unforgiving forces of nature. No matter how much we learn about the phenomena of the region, the stories of human lives lost, of eerie disappearances, and of bizarre events will always tug at the heart. Our desire to uncover hidden meanings, to seek patterns in chaos, is part of what makes us human. Perhaps the strangest aspect of the Bermuda Triangle's mythos is how people react to it. There's a sense of collective belief in the mystery, despite the fact that many of the supposed disappearances can be explained by natural causes. It's almost as if the Bermuda Triangle is a mirror reflecting our deepest fears about the unknown. We want to believe that there's something magical about the region, something that defies logic or reason. After all, the human brain is naturally inclined to seek patterns even in chaos, and the Bermuda Triangle is a perfect storm of mystery, tragedy, and adventure. This collective belief has only grown stronger in the age of modern media. Television shows, documentaries, and books have all played a huge role in perpetuating the Bermuda Triangle's legendary status. The more people hear about it, the more the myth grows, feeding off our natural curiosity and thirst for the unexplained. But with the rise of technology, we also have more tools at our disposal to study the region in greater detail than ever before. From satellite imagery to underwater drones, science has begun to shine a light on some of the previously impenetrable areas of the Bermuda Triangle. Yet even with all this technology, there's still something elusive about it. Could it be that the Bermuda Triangle is less a place of danger and more a place where we can test our understanding of nature? Could it be a symbol of our need to reconcile the unexplained with our ever-growing knowledge of the world? So while we continue to search for definitive answers, we must also acknowledge that the Bermuda Triangle remains as much a part of human storytelling and imagination as it is a geographical location. As we peel away layers of scientific theory, it's important to remember that it's the mystery itself, the uncertainty and wonder of it, that captures our imagination. Perhaps in the end, the Bermuda Triangle is meant to remain a little mysterious. After all, what would a world without a few mysteries be? As we continue our exploration of the Bermuda Triangle's enigmatic reputation, it's essential to dive deeper into the role that myth and folklore play in shaping the narrative of this mysterious place. Over the years, the Bermuda Triangle has transformed from a mere geographic location into a cultural icon, an area woven into the fabric of popular imagination. But why do myths like this take hold so firmly in the human psyche? What is it about the Bermuda Triangle that allows it to persist in our collective consciousness? One key element is the allure of the unknown. Humans have always been captivated by the mysterious, the unexplained, and the supernatural. Whether it's the ancient belief in gods and spirits controlling natural forces or modern-day fascination with UFOs and ghost stories, the Bermuda Triangle taps into our primal desire to understand what lies beyond our comprehension. We are drawn to places where the rules of nature seem to be bent or broken, where reality becomes a slippery thing and the boundaries of possibility blur. The Bermuda Triangle, with its vast ocean, unpredictable weather, and strange magnetic anomalies, offers the perfect canvas for the imagination to run wild. But why this specific location? What is it about the triangle that makes it so compelling? Geographically, the Bermuda Triangle has the advantage of being located in a region where air and sea traffic is heavy, particularly between the United States, the Caribbean, and Europe. This means there is a higher likelihood of accidents or incidents happening in the area. When something unexpected occurs, whether it's a ship vanishing without a trace or a plane seemingly falling from the sky, it becomes an opportunity for the myth to flourish. Each new disappearance adds fuel to the fire, making the Bermuda Triangle seem more and more like a place where the rules of physics and logic don't apply. Perhaps even more compelling is the way the Bermuda Triangle sits in the midst of both the known and the unknown. It lies on the boundary between familiar human activity, shipping routes, airline routes, well-traveled paths, and the uncharted depths of the ocean. What happens in this space is both a reflection of human progress and a reminder of how little we truly know about the forces that govern our planet. The ocean is vast, deep, and full of hidden mysteries. We've explored a fraction of it, and in some ways, the Bermuda Triangle symbolizes that sense of limitlessness, where even the most sophisticated technology can sometimes be overwhelmed by the natural world. Yet as we continue to probe and study, we uncover more about the region that challenges our previous assumptions. The Bermuda Triangle has been the subject of a great deal of scientific investigation, and much of the supposed mystery surrounding it has been explained by natural forces. As we delve into these explanations, we find that the Bermuda Triangle is far less mysterious than many would like to believe, but perhaps in some ways, this makes it even more fascinating. Consider the weather. The region is infamous for its sudden storms that can appear almost out of nowhere. These powerful squalls can make navigation treacherous, particularly when combined with the unpredictable nature of the Gulf Stream. A single storm system can cause turbulence, low visibility, and rough seas, all of which create conditions ripe for accidents. While it's true that these storms have been recorded in many parts of the world, the Bermuda Triangle's particular combination of geography, ocean currents, and wind patterns makes it a hotspot for extreme weather events. In fact, studies have shown that this area has a higher frequency of storms than other parts of the Atlantic Ocean. Another natural phenomenon contributing to the Bermuda Triangle's reputation is the presence of methane hydrate deposits on the ocean floor. These deposits are pockets of methane gas trapped in ice crystals deep beneath the surface of the ocean. If disturbed, say, by an undersea earthquake or a passing ship, they can release large amounts of gas into the water. This gas can decrease the buoyancy of a vessel, causing it to sink rapidly and without warning. Such an event could easily explain the sudden disappearances of ships in the Bermuda Triangle. It's a scientific fact that methane gas can have a significant impact on buoyancy and oceanic conditions, and researchers have hypothesized that this could be a plausible explanation for some of the more baffling disappearances in the region. But even as we unravel these scientific explanations, there's still something undeniably captivating about the Bermuda Triangle. Maybe it's because the stories of lost ships and planes still resonate with us on a human level. Each disappearance is a reminder of the fragility of human life in the face of nature's immense power. And even though we can point to natural phenomena to explain many of the mysterious disappearances, the human element remains. What happens to the people aboard those vessels and planes? What were their final moments, like lost in the storm or the deep waters? The Bermuda Triangle is in many ways a reflection of our own vulnerabilities. We may have conquered the skies, mapped out the ocean floors, and sent probes into the deepest corners of the galaxy, but the Earth still has areas where our knowledge is limited. There are places where even the most sophisticated technology and the best-trained professionals are no match for the unpredictability of nature. And perhaps that's the true appeal of the Bermuda Triangle. It represents the space where science and the unknown meet, where we are reminded that there will always be more to discover, more to learn, and more to marvel at. The Triangle may not be a place of supernatural mystery, but it is certainly a place of natural wonder, full of phenomena that we are only beginning to understand. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle is not just about disappearing ships and planes. It's about the story of human curiosity, our fascination with the unknown, and the ongoing journey of scientific discovery. Each new piece of knowledge we gain helps us uncover a little more about this mysterious region, but it also reminds us that there will always be mysteries left to explore, both in the Bermuda Triangle and in the world around us. The Bermuda Triangle, while often painted as a place of mystery and danger, is also an area rich in history, filled with maritime legends and tales of exploration. These stories have contributed to the growing myth surrounding the region, making it seem even more otherworldly. But how did this place, once a simple stretch of ocean, become so legendary? Let's step back in time to uncover how the Bermuda Triangle became more than just a patch of water in the Atlantic. To understand the Bermuda Triangle's rise to prominence, we need to explore the story of early explorers and their encounters with the region. The first recorded European to traverse this area was none other than Christopher Columbus, the man who would go on to discover the New World. In 1492, during his famous voyage across the Atlantic, Columbus sailed right through what we now call the Bermuda Triangle. It was on this journey that he wrote in his logs about strange phenomena, particularly in the waters off the coast of the Bahamas and around the area of Bermuda. He mentioned unusual lights on the horizon and erratic compass readings, which at the time were seen as signs of supernatural forces or the presence of spirits. Columbus's strange experiences weren't the only early accounts that would contribute to the myth of the Bermuda Triangle. In the centuries that followed, the region became a key route for explorers, traders, and pirates, all of whom encountered mysterious phenomena. As shipping traffic increased, so too did reports of sudden unexplained disappearances. Ships would sail into the Bermuda Triangle and never return, or they'd be found adrift, their crew members gone without a trace. These eerie accounts made the Bermuda Triangle seem like a place where the natural world didn't quite behave. As expected, a kind of limbo between the known and the unknown. As time went on, the stories grew more elaborate. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, when steamships and early aircraft were beginning to cross the Atlantic, reports of strange occurrences multiplied. The Triangle's reputation as a deadly supernatural zone became firmly established. But it was the mid-20th century that really cemented its place in popular culture. The publication of books like The Bermuda Triangle by Charles Berlitz in 1974 introduced the idea that something truly extraordinary was happening in that stretch of water. Berlitz's book, although not entirely based on scientific fact, was a major influence on how the Bermuda Triangle was perceived. It sparked an entire genre of mystery and conspiracy theories that continue to this day. As you might expect, these stories had a profound effect on the public's imagination. The Bermuda Triangle became a symbol of adventure and peril, often linked to UFOs, alien abductions, and mysterious disappearances. It wasn't long before Hollywood took notice. Films, documentaries, and TV shows began to explore the eerie possibilities of the Triangle, contributing to its reputation as a danger zone. But behind the myths and sensationalized accounts, what is the truth? Was the Bermuda Triangle really so different from other parts of the ocean? Or was its reputation simply a product of time, sensationalism, and human imagination? The answer is more complicated than it seems. While the Bermuda Triangle is certainly a region of frequent maritime and air traffic, it doesn't seem to have any unusual properties compared to other heavily traveled areas of the world. That being said, the region does have some unique features that could explain why so many incidents have occurred there, including the presence of deep-sea trenches, unpredictable weather systems, and a high frequency of sudden storms. These factors, combined with the historical importance of the region, have helped build the narrative that the Bermuda Triangle is a place of constant mystery. At the same time, the human tendency to latch onto stories of the unknown and the eerie is part of what makes the Bermuda Triangle so captivating. Even though we know that the majority of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle can be explained by natural causes, such as storms, mechanical failure, or human error, the stories of strange disappearances continue to thrive in popular culture. This is not unlike how other mysterious places, such as Loch Ness or Stonehenge, have maintained their legendary status through the centuries despite a lack of concrete evidence for the supernatural phenomena that are often attributed to them. Interestingly, the more we learn about the Bermuda Triangle through scientific investigation, the more we realize that many of the mysterious occurrences can be explained by a combination of geography, meteorology, and human error. Yet the allure of the unknown continues to resonate with us, especially in an age where there is still so much we don't fully understand about our world. Whether it's the depths of the ocean, the vastness of space, or the oddities of the Bermuda Triangle, there's something about the mysteries that keep us coming back for more questioning what could be hiding just beneath the surface. So while the Bermuda Triangle may not hold the supernatural secrets that many believe, its story is far from ordinary. It is a place of history filled with fascinating encounters, unanswered questions, and the human need to make sense of the world around us. And perhaps it's this very human element, our desire to understand and explore the unknown, that continues to fuel the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. After all, if we could explain everything, would the mystery still be worth contemplating? Would we still be so drawn to this legendary stretch of ocean if we didn't believe that it had something more to offer? Now that we've journeyed through the Bermuda Triangle's history and its rise to mythological status, let's turn our attention to the science behind the region's alleged anomalies. What is it about this patch of ocean that fuels the mystery? Could there be any actual scientific phenomena at play here? Or is it all simply a series of coincidental, misunderstood events? To answer that, we'll need to dive into the physical and atmospheric conditions that characterize the Bermuda Triangle. One of the primary factors that sets the Bermuda Triangle apart from other parts of the world's oceans is the unique weather patterns that frequently occur in the area. The region is notorious for sudden and violent storms, which can form rapidly and unexpectedly. These storms are often referred to as hurricanes in the making, and they can arise with little warning, sweeping through the area with tremendous speed and force. In fact, some of the most devastating hurricanes in history have passed through or near the Bermuda Triangle, further enhancing its reputation as a place of danger. One particular phenomenon that contributes to these unpredictable storms is the Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current that flows from the Gulf of Mexico along the eastern coast of the United States and out into the Atlantic Ocean. This current is one of the strongest in the world and can reach speeds of up to 5 miles per hour. As it moves, it brings warm water from the equator toward the north, interacting with the cooler waters of the Atlantic. This collision of warm and cold air masses creates ideal conditions for the rapid development of storms, which can be intense and sudden, catching both ships and aircraft off guard. In addition to the Gulf Stream, the Bermuda Triangle is also located near the edge of the Tropic of Cancer, which means it's positioned directly in the path of tropical weather systems. The combination of warm ocean waters and atmospheric instability makes this area a prime breeding ground for violent storms. These storms are often short-lived, but can be incredibly intense while they last, causing massive disruptions to any ships or planes caught in their path. But the weather isn't the only factor contributing to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. The region's geography plays a crucial role as well. Beneath the surface of the ocean, the area is home to deep-sea trenches and underwater mountains, creating a complex and ever-changing landscape. These features can cause sudden and unpredictable shifts in the ocean's currents, which may lead to dangerous conditions for ships. In some cases, these underwater features may also cause massive waves known as rogue waves. These waves, which can reach heights of up to 100 feet, are particularly dangerous for ships, and there have been documented instances of vessels being overwhelmed by them in the Bermuda Triangle. These rogue waves are a real and scientifically understood phenomenon, though they are still somewhat of a mystery when it comes to their exact formation and frequency. Rogue waves form when multiple smaller waves come together in a certain way, amplifying their size and power. The underwater geography of the Bermuda Triangle, with its varying depths and contours, makes it a perfect location for rogue waves to form. These waves, which appear suddenly and without warning, can be much taller than the surrounding waves and can capsize even the largest ships. They are often mistaken for something supernatural due to their sheer power and unpredictability, further adding to the triangle's mystique. Another factor that has been suggested as a potential contributor to the Bermuda Triangle's reputation is the region's magnetic anomalies. The Bermuda Triangle is known for having irregular magnetic fields that can cause compass readings to become unreliable. The Earth's magnetic field is not uniform, and certain areas like the Bermuda Triangle experience fluctuations in this magnetic field. This can lead to navigational problems for both ships and aircraft, as compasses may point in erratic directions, making it difficult to maintain a steady course. While this may seem like an eerie and unexplained feature of the Bermuda Triangle, it is important to note that magnetic anomalies are not unique to this region. They occur in other parts of the world as well, but the Bermuda Triangle's association with strange disappearances has helped amplify the significance of these anomalies. Nonetheless, it's reasonable to assume that a malfunctioning compass or navigation system could contribute to a plane or ship becoming lost or veering off course. Combine that with the unpredictable weather and challenging geography, and it's easy to see how a disaster could occur. But here's an interesting question. Is it possible that these natural factors, when combined, could account for the number of incidents reported in the Bermuda Triangle? Could the storm's rogue waves and magnetic anomalies all play a part in creating the perfect storm of accidents? The answer, while not entirely conclusive, seems to suggest that many of the incidents could be explained by these scientific phenomena. In fact, studies have shown that the frequency of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle is not significantly higher than in other heavily traveled areas of the world. This means that while the Triangle has certainly earned its reputation through a mix of unusual occurrences, much of its mystique may stem from the complex interaction of natural forces. So while it's easy to get caught up in the mystery and the supernatural explanations, it's also important to recognize the very real scientific factors that could be contributing to the incidents in this region. The combination of volatile weather, unpredictable ocean currents, magnetic anomalies, and rogue waves creates a perfect storm of conditions that could easily lead to disaster. But these phenomena are not exclusive to the Bermuda Triangle. They occur in other parts of the world as well, albeit perhaps with less frequency or notoriety. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is not so much about what happens there, but about how we perceive it. We want to believe that there's something extraordinary going on, that this place holds secrets that we can't explain. And in some ways, that belief makes the Bermuda Triangle even more fascinating. Because in the end, it's not just about the science or the myths. It's about our collective imagination and our desire to explore the unknown. As we dive deeper into the mystery, it's time to take a closer look at some of the most infamous incidents that have fueled the Bermuda Triangle's reputation. From missing ships to disappearing aircraft, these events have sparked countless theories and captivated imaginations for decades. But could these disappearances be part of a much larger and more understandable pattern? One of the earliest and most famous cases was the disappearance of Flight 19 in December 1945. This group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers set out on a routine training flight from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But as the flight progressed, something strange began to happen. The pilots under the command of Lieutenant Charles Taylor began experiencing disorienting compass malfunctions and communication problems. Taylor reportedly said he was over the wrong area and couldn't find his way back to base. What happened next is shrouded in mystery. Despite efforts to locate the planes, neither Flight 19 nor its crew was ever found. It's easy to imagine how a story like this might spiral into the realm of the supernatural, especially when so many unanswered questions remain. The pilot's confusion, the sudden communication breakdowns, and the unexplainable disappearance of the entire squadron, this could all be interpreted as the Bermuda Triangle's mystical grip at work. But when we step back and examine the situation through the lens of science, we begin to see that there are a number of potential explanations that don't involve anything supernatural. First, let's consider the environmental conditions that could have affected the pilots. The Gulf Stream, which flows through the Bermuda Triangle, is known to create sudden and intense changes in weather. In the case of Flight 19, it's believed that the pilots may have been caught in an intense storm or a patch of turbulence that disoriented them and caused them to lose their bearings. Coupled with the magnetic anomalies in the region, which may have caused their compasses to malfunction, it's not hard to see how these experienced pilots could have become confused and lost. Another key factor that's often overlooked in the Flight 19 case is the nature of the training mission itself. The pilots were not flying in standard conditions. They were conducting a series of drills, which may have meant that they were flying at lower altitudes and in unfamiliar territory. This would have made it much more difficult for them to navigate, especially when faced with poor visibility or rapidly changing weather conditions. It's also possible that the pilots who were already under stress became even more disoriented as the situation unfolded. And what about the reports of strange lights or phenomena in the sky? There have been numerous claims over the years of strange lights or glowing objects seen in the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle. Some suggest that these lights could be UFOs, while others speculate that they could be the result of unusual atmospheric conditions or even military testing. While many of these sightings are anecdotal and not scientifically verified, they add to the sense of mystery that surrounds the area. However, it's worth considering that these reports might be caused by natural phenomena such as electrical discharges or meteorological conditions that create optical illusions. The phenomenon known as ball lightning has been observed in the skies over the Bermuda Triangle, and it's possible that these unusual lights are simply a result of atmospheric electrical activity. Then we come to one of the most famous cases of all, the disappearance of the USS Cyclops in 1918. This massive cargo ship, one of the largest in the U.S. Navy at the time, vanished without a trace while traveling from Brazil to Baltimore. Despite being one of the largest ships in the world, the USS Cyclops was never found, and its disappearance has fueled many of the Bermuda Triangle's most enduring myths. But when we examine the facts, we find that there may be a far more mundane explanation. One possibility is that the USS Cyclops was carrying a full load of manganese ore, a cargo known for being particularly unstable. In fact, the cargo itself may have played a role in the ship's mysterious disappearance. The ore could have caused the ship to become unbalanced or overloaded, making it susceptible to capsizing in rough seas. The ship's captain, along with the crew, would have been well aware of the risks associated with this type of cargo, but it's possible that the ship encountered a severe storm or rogue wave that led to its tragic fate. Furthermore, the route the USS Cyclops took it through waters known for dangerous currents and deep underwater trenches. These geographic features can cause significant turbulence in the water, especially during storms. The ship may have been overwhelmed by the combination of heavy cargo, treacherous seas, and unforeseen weather conditions. And like with Flight 19, the exact cause of the Cyclops' disappearance may never be fully understood, but the evidence points to a tragic accident rather than any supernatural influence. One thing we must also take into account when considering these disappearances is the sheer volume of traffic that passes through the Bermuda Triangle. It's one of the most heavily traveled areas in the world, with ships and planes regularly navigating its waters. Given the sheer number of vehicles passing through the region, it's almost inevitable that there will be accidents and disappearances from time to time. In fact, studies have shown that the Bermuda Triangle doesn't actually have a higher frequency of disappearances than any other similarly trafficked region. So when we look at these infamous incidents, Flight 19, the USS Cyclops, and others, it's important to remember that while the mysteries are intriguing, they are not necessarily proof of anything extraordinary. In many cases, natural phenomena like bad weather, magnetic anomalies, and dangerous geography can explain the events that have been attributed to the Bermuda Triangle. But even so, there remains something captivating about the idea that this part of the world holds a strange and enigmatic power, one that continues to captivate our imagination. As we move closer to unraveling the true nature of the Bermuda Triangle, we turn our attention to some of the modern explanations that scientists and researchers have proposed over the years. These theories take a scientific approach to explaining the unusual occurrences in the area, and while they may not be as sensational as the supernatural stories they offer, a much more grounded understanding of this enigmatic region. One theory that has gained significant attention is the concept of methane hydrate eruptions. Methane hydrate is a form of methane gas that is trapped within ice crystals deep beneath the ocean floor. These deposits are found in large quantities in the Bermuda Triangle, especially in areas with shifting geological features. Under certain conditions like temperature shifts or tectonic activity, these methane hydrates can be released in large bursts, creating massive bubbles that rise to the surface. Now you might be wondering, how could bubbles of gas be dangerous? The answer lies in the fact that these bubbles are so large that they can disrupt the buoyancy of ships and aircraft. When a ship or a plane enters an area where the gas has been released, the disruption in the water, or air density, can cause sudden loss of stability. For ships, this might mean sinking quickly without any warning, and for planes, the lack of air pressure or sudden turbulence could cause a crash. There's even evidence to suggest that large methane releases have occurred in the Bermuda Triangle over the centuries, contributing to unexplained disappearances. When we dig deeper into this theory, we find that methane eruptions aren't unique to the Bermuda Triangle. Similar phenomena have been observed in other regions around the world. However, the Bermuda Triangle's specific combination of geological factors, like underwater fault lines and the presence of gas-rich deposits, may make it particularly prone to these dangerous bursts of gas. The possibility of such events adds a layer of scientific realism to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Though it may not be the kind of mysterious energy that many people imagine, it provides a natural, scientifically grounded explanation for some of the strange disappearances. Another explanation is the Gulf Stream, the powerful ocean current that flows through the Bermuda Triangle. This current is one of the strongest in the world, capable of moving enormous volumes of water at speeds up to 5 miles per hour. The Gulf Stream can carry objects including wreckage from ships or planes swiftly away from the site of an incident, making it difficult to find any remains. The fast-moving waters of the Gulf Stream could explain why some ships and aircraft simply vanish without a trace. This phenomenon of swift water movement isn't unique to the Bermuda Triangle, but its effects in this region are particularly pronounced due to the Gulf Stream's velocity and direction. Additionally, the Gulf Stream can also create unpredictable weather patterns, adding to the complexity of navigating this region. Ships and planes traveling through this area might encounter rapidly changing conditions, from sudden storms to thick fog, making it difficult to navigate safely. These elements together create an environment that could easily lead to accidents, and when combined with the speed at which objects can be carried away by the current, it's easy to see how wreckage might never be recovered. What's fascinating is that the Gulf Stream's powerful currents may also help explain why many of the vessels that are reported missing from the Bermuda Triangle are never found. The region is incredibly vast, and the current's strength makes it incredibly difficult to trace any floating debris. Even if a ship or a plane crashes in the area, the Gulf Stream can carry debris hundreds of miles away from the crash site before it even has a chance to be noticed. This leaves little trace of the wreckage, which in turn fuels the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. At this point, it's clear that many of the theories behind the Bermuda Triangle's strange reputation are not nearly as mysterious as they once seemed. From methane hydrate eruptions to the forces of the Gulf Stream, there are scientific explanations that can account for most of the events attributed to this area. And yet, even as we peel back the layers of mystery, we find that there's still something captivating about the Bermuda Triangle, a sense that it remains a place where the forces of nature have conspired in a way that feels both unsettling and awe-inspiring. So you might be asking yourself, why do these explanations feel so unsatisfying to some people? Why do they fail to quench our curiosity and sense of wonder about the Bermuda Triangle? It seems that the allure of the unknown is too powerful. Our imaginations crave the supernatural, the mystical, and the unexplainable, and so we continue to seek out stories of strange disappearances and bizarre phenomena. In truth, the Bermuda Triangle is a place where science and mystery are constantly at odds, creating a fascinating tension between what we know and what we can only guess at. But as you continue to explore the region's enigmatic reputation, it's important to remember that science has its limits. While we may never fully understand every disappearance or phenomenon that occurs within the Bermuda Triangle, there is value in seeking rational explanations. And just as the waves crash gently against the shores of this mysterious region, we can take comfort in the fact that we've learned a great deal about the natural forces that shape our world, while still leaving room for a little bit of wonder to remain. As we approach the final chapter of our journey through the Bermuda Triangle, let's slow things down a bit. While we've explored numerous theories and explanations for the disappearances that have earned the area its infamous reputation, there is still one thing we haven't quite touched on: the human element. You see, the Bermuda Triangle has become a cultural touchstone in the collective imagination, influencing stories, films, and even our own personal myths about the sea. But what if the very idea of the Bermuda Triangle, the stories, the fear, the curiosity, plays a larger role than we realize? What if the Bermuda Triangle is less about the mysterious disappearances themselves, and more about how we interpret and respond to the unknown? Throughout history, humans have often been drawn to places that evoke mystery and danger, places where the laws of nature seem to bend or break. The Bermuda Triangle, with its unpredictable weather, strong currents, and deep waters, is the perfect setting for legends to take root. There's a certain comfort in the idea of a place where strange things can happen, where the rules of reality are a little more flexible. It gives us something to wonder about, something to fuel our imaginations. But there's something else at play here as well: the psychology of fear and awe. The Bermuda Triangle, like many other mysterious locations, taps into our primal instincts: the fear of the unknown depths of the ocean, and the deep, almost unconscious need to seek answers to things that elude us. It is the sense of wonder and mystery that keeps us fascinated long after the scientific explanations begin to make sense. So let's take a step back and appreciate how the Bermuda Triangle, while it may be rooted in real geographical and scientific phenomena, also functions as a symbol. It's a reminder that the world is still full of surprises, and sometimes even as we learn more, there will always be questions that remain unanswered. It's the balance between understanding and awe, reason and mystery, that makes the Bermuda Triangle so captivating. We can certainly say that we've unraveled a good portion of its secrets. We've discussed everything from powerful natural currents to the strange behavior of methane gas, from the complexities of magnetic anomalies to the behavior of the Gulf Stream. But as much as we've peeled back the layers, the Bermuda Triangle still has the power to make us feel small, like there's more to this world than we can truly grasp. Maybe in a way, it's the mystery itself that makes this region so alluring. Imagine if we knew all the answers. Imagine if every shipwreck and every missing plane had a tidy scientific explanation. Perhaps in that case, the Bermuda Triangle would lose some of its magic, its mysterious charm. And where would the stories go, if not into the realm of myth and legend? As you lay back and let the waves of sleep wash over you, think about how many places in this world remain unexplained, just like the Bermuda Triangle. Perhaps you've wondered about other places with strange reputations, other parts of the ocean where danger and wonder coexist. And as you drift deeper into the comfort of sleep, let yourself imagine those unexplained realms filled with mystery, waiting to be discovered or left alone. There's something incredibly peaceful about the idea that not all mysteries need to be solved, that some things can remain a bit out of reach. The Bermuda Triangle is a place where science, myth, and the human mind intersect, and as much as we've learned, there's still a whisper of something unknown. And that's okay. If you've enjoyed this journey, I'd be quietly grateful if you'd give this video a like or tap that subscribe button for more peaceful explorations with the Sleepy Scientist. It helps more than you might imagine. And before you drift off, I'd still love to know, where in the world are you listening? From what time it is there? Leave a comment if you're feeling cozy enough to share. It's always a quiet joy to see this sleepy little community ripple across time zones and continents. Good night. Sweet dreams.